Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 214. Today is January 1st, 2022. Happy New Year. And, excuse me, my back itches. So today is New Year's Day. Happy New Year to you. And, I am, this is a channel about cross stitch. Sorry, just in case you're wondering. And hello to any new viewers. If you'll hit the subscribe button and the little bell, you'll be notified every time I do an update. And welcome back to my subscribers. I recorded. I did not record a video on the 25th, which was Christmas Day, because we had several things going on between the 23rd and 24th and 25th, and I just didn't have time to do anything. And it was Christmas, and I figured, everybody has Christmas stuff going on. Or those who celebrate Christmas. So anyway, everybody has been doing things like a finish parade, a whip parade, things like that for the end of the year. And I have a lot of whips. I have about 23, 24 whips, sort of. And several of them I just haven't touched, for months and months. And so I thought I would do a finish parade. I don't really have too many FFOs. I did maybe 3 or 4 FFOs. I'm terrible about that sort of thing. And the ones that I did as gifts, so I really don't even have them to show you. But I shared them before, so viewers who regularly watch this channel have seen them. And if not, they're in my old videos if you care to watch that. Like from about the 150s, 152, 151, something like that. I think 152 is the first one I did in January of this year. So about 60, about 52 weeks ago. So anyway, so I thought I would go over things I finished. And they're mostly things I finished in 2021, and some of them I'm not quite sure, and some of them I don't have I'll get to explain that a little bit. But so these little things, this is a Lindy Stitches, Turtley Lovable, and this is, I think it's Pinker and Pumpkin. It's a little freebie off of her blog, and I don't remember the name of it. And then this was Be Well, was one of the 2020 pandemic freebies that several designers were coming up with. So these I am not sure whether I did them in 2020 or 2021. Anyway, there they are. So so I intended to FFO them, and that's why I cut a piece of what do you call it? Interfacing to back these, and I just didn't get around to attaching them. I think I have a piece of interfacing for this bigger one somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Anyway, so I am not sure whether when I finished those, and like I said, I intended to FFO them, but I didn't. And so then I have a few charts that I don't have the finished product. And the first one is this Tribal Owl by White Willow Stitching. I did this, I intended it for my sister-in-law Rachel for her birthday, which is in January, I think. But it took me much longer to finish it. I think it took me until March or something to finish it. But I did it as a wall hanging. I dyed the fabric for it a sort of a green color, sort of a foresty, look. And I bought a piece of like birch wood, a log basically, and hung it from there, and had some like leaf shaped ribbon and some eyelash yarn kind of, that just to hang it on there to make it look like a like the owl is sitting in a tree. Came out very nicely, the final FFO of it. But yeah, I worked on that for quite a while. And I did, rather than the DMC that's called for in here, I used a color variations DMC to give it a little more, modeled look. And so it came out very nice, if I do say so myself. And the other thing I did was, because I have these things stuck in there, this wolf for my brother, and I finished it on a piece of kind of like, what is the word I want? Like a raw, it looks like it's a piece of wood with like tree bark on the side that I bought at Walmart, and it had a little, tooth-edged, hanger on the back of it. So I finished it, and this was a Bucilla kit. This was, it came with a piece of 14 count Ada in the kit, and I dyed the Ada, again, a foresty green color, almost the same color as I dyed this one. But so I stitched it with the kit threads in there, 2/2. And this one I finished on 28 count Monaco, 2/2 also. But anyway, so I mounted it on that little board for my brother for his birthday. So there's that. And then another one I don't have is this Mandalorian. I did this for this Christmas for my nephew Eli. He just moved into an apartment on his own. Beginning of November, end of October to beginning of November, and so I stitched this on a towel that I got at Walmart. That no, excuse me, not Walmart, Hobby Lobby. That is like just a fluffy towel, but it has an Ada insert on there, and it was just big enough to fit the tallest of these characters in there, like kind of wall to wall, but I was able to put the lettering. It says the Mandalorian on there. But so yeah, so I did finish this and was able to give it to him for Christmas. More on that later. But anyway, so I don't have those because I did them as gift. The other ones that I don't have are just due to my own lack of organization. I don't know what I did with them. I have them somewhere to finish because I had some FFO ideas, but I just haven't done them yet. So the first one is this series by Ink Circles, Rabbit. So I did the January one as part of the cross stitch camp this summer. So that was June, July, and August. And this was what I chose for the July project, I think. And one of the challenges for the I think there was one challenge to stitch something by a designer you've never done before, and that was in June. I'll show you that in a minute. And then July, I think, was do something new, so I stitched this in silks. I never used silks before. It was the challenge was something like one of them was like to use new threads or something like that. So I stitched this in silks. These patterns are all finished in silks, but there's a DMC conversion. But I decided to go ahead and do them all in silks because like I said, I've never used silk before, so I went ahead and bought all the silk colors. But if you go on, there is a web page, inkcircles.com/pages/rabbit. And so there is a list on, there's a border on there, like if you want to put a border around the individual pieces, or if you want to put them all on all 12 of them on one large piece, and there's a border you could put around them, between them and everything. But there's also a list of the silk threads and DMC conversion on there. So, but anyway, so I did this one, and I used Murano Carré fabric that I found at Hobby Lobby, and they have a whole bunch of different colors. But I used, there's one called, I think it's called Ice. It's a kind of a light blue color that I used for this one. And so it's a 32 count, and I used 1 thread over 2 for this. And so I'm hoping, I have all the rest of them now. I just recently got the last 3, October, November, December. And I hope in the next year, because it went very quickly. It just took me a couple of weeks to do it. So I'm hoping in 2022 to finish this series. And I have an idea about FFOing that has changed slightly, but and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But so this is, like I said, I have the finished stitch somewhere, and I don't know where it is. And another one that I found missing, and it might be with the rabbit one, is this Prairie Schooler Blackwork Angels. I've had this for a long time, and like 3 years in a row, I've been thinking I was going to finish them and didn't, and I finally finished them all this year. And I don't have there's a little individual card, and I don't know what I did with it. That's another one of these Blackwork Angel style angels that's just slightly different. It's about the same size, but it has a little bit of blue in it, rather than this is just black and gold. Anyway, I even went so far as to cut them all apart, because that was the first step in FFOing them, and then I just didn't do it. And I don't know, again, I don't know quite where they all are. The little set of, there's 8 of them. But anyway, so I finished this in, I want to say in the spring of 2022. So that was another one I finished. And then I had finished this quite some time ago. This is a Silver Creek Samplers. This tiny mouse, what is it called? Sweet Marmalade is what it's called. And it says, this tiny mouse lives in a house beneath the berry shade. He gathers up the ripest fruit and makes sweet marmalade. So this is a 2015 pattern. It was when it was designed, and I think I bought it, a little bit later. But so I stitched it, and I think I did a DMC conversion. It's charted in Gentle Arts, and I did a DMC conversion. I think I did it myself, because I don't think it's listed on there. But anyway, so I had stitched this, and had almost finished it, but not quite. I had stuffed it, and but I just didn't close up the stitching. And then I went ahead and bought this chenille trim from Lady Dot Creates, and finished it finally. So it's so cute. I just love this little mouse. I just love him with all my heart. So I count that as an FFO for this year, because it languished, and I finished it. So these are not in any particular order. I just just as my hand to grab them. This is my latest finish, actually. This is a Mandalorian towel for my other nephew, Rob. Last year, a couple years ago, I had stitched a wall hanging 2 years ago, I think, of this same Andorian. My sister Eve designed this, and it's one of his favorite character, Star Trek character. Shran is his name. But so I stitched him on this towel, and this towel, I've talked about this recently, is like, it's basically like a 32 count, I think, maybe 36. And I stitched it 2/2. I should have stitched it 1/2 because it made it very tight. But it came out really nice. So theoretically, it would hang in his bathroom basically like that. Yeah, so I thought he would appreciate it. He seems to really like that. And then another recent finish I had was, it's sort of a finish and not quite a finish, not quite an FFO, I guess. This Hi Mom, it's slightly wrinkled there, sorry, that I did for my sister. If you look at the snowman, he doesn't have a nose because there's a button, a button for his nose, and another like a snowball button that I have, but it's part of the FFO process, so I haven't done it yet. And this is the pattern. It's a puntini pattern. So there's the carrot nose button and the snowball button. So yeah, so this was a December 2020 finish. So all my Christmas presents I gave and took back because the Andorian wasn't quite finished. There was a few lines, to finish. So it wasn't, but I gave, this to my nephew Rob, and then I said, oh, give it back to me because I have to finish it. And I gave this to my sister Eve, and I said, okay, give it back to me because I have to finish it. But so yeah. So hers is finished, but not FFO'd, and so the buttons aren't on there. And then earlier this year, again, I did this Stoneware Snowman by Priscilla's Pocket. I have done 2 other of these stoneware little pillow pin cushion kind of patterns. I did Stoneware Kitten and Stoneware Cat. And I have another one that I actually have 2 of. It's a Stoneware Rabbit, I think is what it's called. And I actually have 2 of them because I had bought one, and then I bought another copy of the same thing. And I bought these at the attic. But so this is a little kit, and it comes with the fabric and the thread and the trim even. So again, it's not FFO'd. Oops, that's the back. I'm gonna put it here so it doesn't show through. But yeah, so I finished stitching it earlier this year, and I have the trim and everything somewhere. So, like I said, I'm terrible at FFOing stuff, and so I also had so this was the June challenge piece, From the Heart. NeadleArt by Wendy. I've never done anything from her, so that fit the challenge there. This is called Mini Spring, and it's got that little bunny, and there's a row of ducklings and a row of sheep, and a row of butterflies, a row of tulips, a row of I don't know if those are roses or violets, I guess, or something. But so there's Mini Spring. And I had thought about FFOing this for my aunt, but if I do, I'm probably going to have to mail it because my sister was going to, take some stuff for us, but she leaves like on the 4th. So I don't think, I don't know. Anyway, there's this. May, spring. This came out nice. And it went really fast. I want to say maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks at most. So yes, I finished that in June. And then, what did I do in August? I don't remember. But I had this pattern. This is one of my oldest whips. Midnight Meow. It came out, the copyright on it is 92. It was a Jiffy kit by Dimensions. And so it came with the fabric and the threads, and I apparently threw the threads away at some point because I had it for so long, I didn't know what the threads were for, what they were, but they were for this kit. So I had to sort of eyeball and guess some DMC equivalents, and I actually changed the color of this little line, fence line or whatever that they're sitting on, because it wasn't dark enough, whatever. But anyway, so it's stitched. Basically, this cat and this cat, I think, are 4/2, and because the instructions on this kit say to stitch with 3 threads, and I went with 4. It's a long story anyway, but the rest of it is 2 threads. It's 2/2. And then the little stars are colonial knots. Yeah. So, but it's finally finished. I don't know how I'm going to FFO it or when, but it's done. And then I had, I want to say this fall, I don't know exactly when I did the other chart, but I did Ghouls Garland, and when you purchase this chart, it comes with a free chart for Pumpkin Pile, and I don't have a copy of that because all I have is the chart. It doesn't have a picture, but it's got Calvin, basically. This is by Stitching with the Housewives. So the gray cat, and then a white pumpkin and an orange pumpkin. And I want to say I did DMC, but I might have done. It was charted in Classic Colorworks, so I might have done it that way. But so here is Ghouls Garland. And this is, I want to say 32 count linen that I dyed myself. I originally dyed it for another project for Sleepy Hollow, a Sal that I started some time ago. And, oops, sorry, there's a thread, a little fluff there. But it was too dark because that Sal has a lot of, that pattern has a lot of black in it, and this was too dark. So I hung on to it, and it's perfect for this. Yeah. So there's that is Ghouls Garland and Pumpkin Pile that came with it. So those two Stitching with the Housewives patterns I also did in this year. And then I also did, this is an Al Forst pattern. This one is, I want to say Elephant and Pug is the name of it. Back here it's in English, let me see. Fables, Elephant and Pug, yeah. And it came with everything, the fabric, the threads, and everything. And the elephant isn't quite as dark. You can see the front of it instead of the back. The elephant isn't quite as dark as it is in this picture. I kind of wish the thread was a little darker. but it came out. If you know, you can see it in person. You can see it pretty well. So that's really cute. There's a little pug. There's the elephant. And I, left the words in Cyrillic. It's charted that way. There's not a translation in the chart, so yeah. And then I had seen this in the expo things. I want to say in the fall of 2020. I don't know. But anyway, I looked everywhere for this Easter preparation chart and found it finally. And so I stitched it. I want to say my family went camping up in Greer, Arizona. I want to say at the beginning of the summer. And I know I was working on it then. That's what I started it. So, but Easter preparation. There's a bunny and some mice, and they're painting the eggs. These mice are bringing in unpainted eggs, and the bunny is painting them, and then this mouse is taking the painted ones out. So Easter preparation. And that is, I dyed this fabric, and then this is DMC threads, and it's 2/2. I almost always stitch 2/2 just because I'm neurotic that way. And then this is a Brenda Gervais chart, I think, with a needle and thread, I think. Yeah. Christmas at Winterberry Cabin. This is kind of a dark picture, but Christmas at Winterberry Cabin. And I think it's charted in Weeks, Dye Works, Gentle Arts, and Classic Colorworks. Yeah. And it's done with all the called for threads. And then I coffee dyed this linen myself. And if I had thought about it, I didn't really think it through. I stitched this on the center of the fabric, and because I wasn't quite sure how big it was, and I didn't do my calculations correctly, so it's kind of in the middle of this fabric, and it's not as big as I thought it was, and so I have lots of extra fabric. So I kind of, I wish I had done it in the corner so I wouldn't have as much sort of wasted fabric, but we'll see how that comes out. But so I included this because I stitched it actually in 2020, and I was going to give it to my mother as a Christmas present. And then we all got COVID, and she passed away on the 19th of December last year, and so I never did finish it. But yeah, so I count that as a as a 2021 thing. And then these other two, I am not sure if I stitched them before or whatever. This is a hands-on design. Life Needs More Chocolate Bunnies. I am not sure when I finished it. It might have been in 2020. I'm not sure. And I did this other one for Fat Friends. This is a little freebie from oh crud. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, so again, I'm not sure, because I know I started this, and then it took me a long time to put it off before I finished it. And I don't remember if it's DMC. It's mostly, the tree is a DMC color, I think. And the others, I might have used Weeks Dye Works or whatever. I don't know what color threads I used, but this was on, I want to say 32 count, a piece of linen or something that I dyed myself, I believe. And then more chocolate bunnies. Like I said, I don't know when I finished it. It might have been late last year, late 2020 or early 2021. I don't know. Life needs more chocolate bunnies, and there's the little buttons on their tails. And this is by Hands On Design, and it called for what do you call it? Sulky threads, and I did the DMC conversion, as I recall. And I know I started it at some point, and then I just like put it off. It languished for a long time, and then I finally finished it. So there's that by Hands On Design. And then the other thing I did was I designed this for my mother. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And there's my mother's name and dates on there. And this weeping willow that sort of represents she and her siblings. And it's from the reference there's Matthew 5:4, from the Beatitudes. But this is done in DMC and on a sort of a gray fabric that I dyed myself, and with Lady Dot Creates fabric and chenille trim on the back. And yeah, so and these little sheep charms I got at a local yarn shop here called Tempe Yarn and Fiber. And so they had these little sheep charms, and I had bought like a couple of them. I think this green one and a blue one at some point. And then went back and got the rest of these that they had, and then I wanted to get some more, and they didn't have any more of these roundy ones, and so I bought these little ones. And so what it represents is my mom and dad, and this green one is my brother because he's the only boy, and my sister Eve and her son Rob, me, and my sister Naomi and her 2 kids. And who is not on here is my brother-in-law. He's not on here because I didn't have enough sheep charms and I didn't have enough room. But I, rather than stitch a whole bunch of sheep on the grass, I just had it in my head to put these little sheep charms on there. But yeah, so that's, yeah. And and I had in August of 2020, before my mother passed away, I had stitched a Lindy Stitches pattern called A Mother's Heart. A Mother's Heart is black and blue, bruised from loving ever true. And so it's like shaped in a heart pattern shape. And I had done that for her in August, and she really liked it. And so this Blessed Are They Who Mourn sits next to that pillow on our couch in the living room. So those are all my finishes for 2021 and a few from 2020. What I plan to do for this year, for 2022, I actually had I had finished this. This is also I want to say in 2020, or maybe 2021. I don't know, but I had finished this for my sister Naomi, but I didn't FFO it, of course, because I'm a knucklehead that way. But so this year I did the 2020 Santa by Prairie Schooler. Again, this is the 2019 one, right? And I like that big sheep there, and the little baby sheep. And so this one, I just love those little bunnies and everybody blowing in the wind there. So I was hoping to get this done by Christmas, but of course, like all the other presents, I gave it to my sister and I took it back because it's not quite finished. So I'm almost done with it. I've got the little bunnies in there. This one still needs his eye, and then the Santa needs an eye also. And there's a little green dot on the end of his hat, and then the words North Wind, and the back stitching around the border, and then these little branches and the vines on the ivy. So I'm almost finished with this bunny here. He, like I said, he needs his eye, and Santa needs an eye, and a little green dot on his hat, and yeah. So it's almost finished. Like I said, I was hoping to get this done, and I just have just a little bit of stitching on the rabbit here, and then, you know, I can do a little details. So I'm hoping that I can finish it today, and it'll be my first finish for 2021. And then the other thing that I was hoping to do by Christmas and didn't happen, but fortunately I had the Mandalorian towel. This is for my nephew Eli, also for his first Christmas towel, basically. For I don't know that he had much in the way of Christmas decor in his apartment, but so I had, like I said before, Leisure Arts had these. I didn't bring the chart out here. Oh, yes, I did. Leisure Arts had this fingertips for Christmas, little fingertip towels. So there's Santa, and there's Rudolph. And so I adapted those two designs, and I duplicated the deer and changed the noses so that they're have black noses, and then there's Rudolph with this red nose. You can't tell from this picture, but then there's Santa, and I expanded the sled a little bit to include the tree that Santa's pulling and the gift that Rudolph had in that other picture. So I put them together, and I've been working on that, and I hadn't worked on it since I was trying to finish the Santa. But so I have the little herd of reindeer and Rudolph here in the end. So there's a little bit more to do on those, but fortunately, like I said, you know, like the Andorian, once the stitching is done, it's done. There's no FFOing involved, which is good for me. But anyway, so those are my immediate plans. And beyond that, right now, I don't know that I have any plans beyond that. I'll have to look and see what stitching I have. So then, I want to talk a little bit about mail and haul. So one of the first things I want to talk about is I got some Christmas cards from friends and family members. These are not necessarily from Stitchers, but I got this one from my friend Grace. I knew her she joined the symphony in Little Rock the same time I did, and she was there just a few years, I guess, and then she and her husband, you know, moved on. And then this one I got from my friend Sandy that I knew in Little Rock. She was in the symphony with me, so I got this one from her. These little kitties, and then from one of my viewers, Judy Stone, I got this little cute Christmas card. This little teddy bear on a toy horse. And from my friend Kevin out in Florida, I got this little card. It's very pretty. And just a note from my friend Danny Allen. He doesn't send Christmas cards, you know, but he sent me a note. That's nice. I knew him also in Little Rock. We used to work together. But then also I got my sisters and I got a package from Barb Wartsmith, one of our viewers, and she sent each of us a little. These little gift tags are just adorable. This snowman, it's so adorable. But she sent some Christmas gifts to us. She sent each of us a little, I guess they're like a little sachet kind of thing, and each of us got a little tree ornament. Yeah. And then she also sent each of us a stitched hanging thing. So there's some reindeer and a little Santa and this house, and then my sisters got slightly different ones. One with a sled in front of it, and the other one with like little reindeer buttons, on the side. And the other one, it's also a little house, and I want to say there was a snowman like sticker thing on the side, and I can't remember what I think there's. I can't remember what is stitched beside the little house. Shoot, I can't remember. But anyway, they're very cute. They're finished very imaginatively, thoughtfully, just adorable. So yeah, that's really cute. And it's very tiny. It's like I want to say like 36 count maybe. Very, very tiny. But so yeah. Then also, oh yeah, so she sent a little Christmas card to us, and a little thank you note for gifts that we had given her. Some I don't know if you want to give away or whatever, but so she sent also a box of tons and tons of fabric and some patterns, magazine, Stony Creek magazines that have patterns in them, and so we're going to go through those and decide which ones we're going to keep and which ones we're going to keep some and give away some, and that's going to be we'll go through and think about that some more. And then she also sent some project bags. We kind of divvied them up. So I got a couple here, and put those to good use. And then, so those were the gifts and that we got from her, and just want to thank you very much, Barb, for those. And so then I have a little bit of haul. I found this at Hobby Lobby. This is another little towel. And this is a little bit bigger weave to it, more like the equivalent of like it's like about 28 count, but it's a little bit looser weave, so we'll see how that works. And then one of the things I got as a Christmas gift was a gift card to Target. And I didn't necessarily have anything specific that I wanted, but one of the things I always look at their dollar spot. And they have these canisters. And I have something like this that's larger that I had originally envisioned my those rabbit designs. Because they are small, they're about this size, maybe a little, maybe I don't know if they'll fit quite with this little hole, but I think they'll fit on here for sure. Like Priscilla and Chelsea, often use like magnets in all that, and so I think they'll fit on there, and then or I can put the magnets here, and you know, and then they'll go inside there. And right now there's that foamy stuff in there because that one comes with a smaller one that nests inside there. So you know, it nests inside. So the one that I have before that I bought there is larger. It's actually those would fit inside there. It's you know, a bigger square like that. And then I also found in the dollar spot this little house shape, and it has a little hanger on the back here, and just this plain rectangle shape. Oh, sorry. And it also has a little sawtooth hanger on the back. So again, we talked about this in our Three Sisters creative video, that like I keep buying all this FFO stuff, and I haven't FFO'd anything. It's not something that comes naturally to me. So I really have to sort of think it through and, you know, do this and that, and it just doesn't. It doesn't come naturally to me. So I have to really work at it. But so I have a lot of finishes, and I have some ideas how to FFO some of them and everything. I just haven't, you know, sat down and done it. But anyway, so that I think is everything I have to talk about. I don't really have any New Year's resolutions about, you know, what I'm going to work on, or, you know, like saying, oh, I want to work on all my whips this year or anything like that. Because, you know, I found that that's kind of like, oh, I don't want to commit to that so much, I guess. But so yeah, I want to finish those two whips that I have, and then I have, like, you know, like I said, about 23 or something whips and things that I want to start, you know. So my older sister Eve is doing WhipGo. So, you know, like she made a WhipGo chart, and is probably going to, you know, work on that. And she has some of her quilting projects and some of her cross-stitch projects on there. And, you know, like she's going to work, say, 20 days on this project and until she's finished with that project. So, and I don't know, I could do something like that maybe. Or I might use one of my decision roulette wheel and put all my whips in there and, you know, work on them at like a week at a time or whatever, whenever something comes up. I don't know. I at the same time, I want to be free to just stitch whatever I want whenever I want, and but the problem with that is it leads to, I have 2 drawers full of whips that I, you know, haven't touched on because I'm like constantly going, oh, the shiny thing, I want to start this new chart or whatever. And what helps me finish is all these, you know, challenges that I participate in, the cross stitch camp challenges, and the Witchy Stitchy, the embroidery.com challenges, the, you know, Witchy Stitchy and I Love to Stitch and things like that. And so maybe perhaps that's what I need to spur me on to finish things. Even like, you know, Mania, and I think, is it March Madness? Some people were stitching, you know, things for March Madness. And so, although some people were doing like very formal, like a March Madness chart, you know, that sports fans use. But I used that, I think, to just stitch like every day in the month of March or something like that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly to make sure I stitch. I generally stitch every day, just about, you know, just because that's all I do really. I don't really, I don't sew, I don't do other patterns, I don't do things like that. So the only thing I really do is cross stitch. And of course, now my sister and I have been playing in the Mesa Community College Orchestra, and that's been fun, a lot of fun for me. But anyway, and actually, in this year, next week, the week of the 10th, I'm gonna have get my horn worked on by a local guy here, and so you know that's a new different thing. But anyway, like I said, I don't have any specific plans for 2021. Any grand plans for stitching, but I'm just gonna keep plugging away at whatever, and hopefully, get like I said, if I can get stuff on that decision roulette, I think that'll help. Or I might do the Whipco board thing. I don't know yet. I have to, So anyway, that's me. That's all I have. So thanks for watching. Come back next week. Subscribe and turn on your notifications if you will. That'll help a lot. And I will link to the Three Sisters Creative video. I think we said last week that we did get the pillowcases, the 411 project pillowcases done, and sent the first phase. We still have some fabrics and things left over, so we'll keep working on that maybe later on this year. But the ones that we did about 72, I want to say, and got those in the mail and got those out to the children's home in Portales, where they were greatly appreciated. And we want to thank you for your donations of money and fabric, and that enabled us to do that. And we'll, keep plugging away at it. And so I think that's it. I'm almost at an hour here, and I want to stop it as soon as possible. So yeah, I will see you again next week, and hopefully I'll have some more finishes. Maybe I'll have some FFOs. We'll see. I make no promises. Anyway, I will see you next week. And again, my name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and I will see you next time. Bye.